So it's a Friday night. What are you planning on doing?
You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 183, Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Sorry. Back again. Fucking cold again. Trying to think of anything new. I don't really have like a whole lot of Devastator new. Sprayed this fucking pretty cool powder coat today. I've been like just kind of like dumping fucking the jars together. So I posted a shit earlier, a 1-of-1 black top, and that will be definitely difficult to duplicate. Well, no, I'm not going to say it's going to be difficult to duplicate. Like, that shit's impossible to duplicate. So I might spray a couple more while I have that jar kind of at the consistency that it is, because it is kind of cool looking, but I just was been dumping different shit in there and shaking it up and fucking seeing what happens. So yeah, so if you see those are going to be never happening again. Just by sheer fucking, I have no idea what the fuck I dumped together to make it happen or how much. Anyway, excuse me. So the wax and the soap came out. I don't know if we talked since then. I think so. Well, yeah, definitely the soap, but the wax too. But yeah, I'm sure you know about that too. What the fuck else is there? The test board came in after a year. I was very, very, I mean, I'm not going to say I was surprised by the results because I've been seeing it every day for the last fucking year. But to show everybody the results and to compare it to when it started, I'm not mad at it, man. I mean, it's fucking alcohol ink. And it held up for a year in fucking New York, you know, and fucking beating in the sun and fucking snow and rain. And I mean, it's not like the snow is on it, you know, but you know, you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, so that's, I'm gonna finish that up. I started fucking sanding it. Sanding it. Came out here, now I'm fucking stuffed up. I started sanding it, and all the fucking paint just started to fall off of it, like the fucking 10 coats that was, you know, fucking was on there. So I like chiseled off the whole fucking bottom quarter, and then, well, bottom quarter of the corner, and coated that. So it's probably going to be all fucked up anyway, but I'm going to get that redone and we'll do another year. So we'll see. Maybe I'm trying to think of how I could do the other one. So maybe it's not straight up and down. So maybe it's like on its back with, you know, rain and everything. Anyway, we'll see. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do yet. That would be kind of hard. I don't really have a place to put something like that. Where, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Figure it the fuck out. So we'll do that. I think that's about it for Devastator news. I don't really have a whole lot. The apparently you can mix the fucking violet with the one night only silver, so I recommend doing that. But I don't know how it works in a mop. Somebody in the comments said that the mop works fine. I've only done it in the shoe polish. Fucking bootleg shoe polish thing. So that is up to your discretion or whatever you want to call it. So I don't really know, but it looks fucking tits. and it's gonna hold up like a champ. So that's a good thing. This week's memories. I probably have talked about this a few times. I don't know if I've ever got in depth about the factory that used to be on Whitney Street. I know I've talked about it. Nah, I probably have. But anyway, there was this big factory on one of the entrances was Whitney Street and shit. I think it went all the way down to Broad. I can't remember. One of the Trussels. I think it was Broad. But I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, it was fucking huge. And it was, for the most part, abandoned. It was 6 floors with a basement that was flooded. And we used to steal the copper out of there and shit. But the first time I went in this fucking building, I don't know, I was probably 12, 13. I knew as soon as we went in there, the first time I went in there, I was fucking scared because the place is huge and it's fucking easy to get lost, and it was more or less boarded up, but it was so big, it was like impossible to keep people out. And so we ended up stealing the fucking copper out of these big boxes on the ceiling and shit, like fucking getting Uncle Larry involved in it and all this crazy shit. Cutting these fucking things off the fucking ceiling, dropping them to the ground. You'd have to bust out these fucking ceramic porcelain fucking brackets that would hold the copper. And we were taking a lot of fucking copper out of that place. And the building ended up burning down. It was sad. It burned, and then they had to demolish it. But it was massive. But there was one floor that was all these old computers, man. And I'm sure nowadays that shit would probably be worth something. But right at that time, it was like antiquated junk. But there was so fucking much of it. There were so many computers and monitors and fucking... like these floppy disks weren't even like the Apple IIe. You probably don't, but if you do, the Apple IIe floppy disks were like 5 inches. These ones were like 10-inch floppy disks. They weren't even floppy disks. They were like that fucking, the kind that you could like. They were like, I don't even know what you call them. Like floppy disks were 3.5, right? And they were fucking hard plastic. These are like the black ones that fucking, they'll go whack, 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 whack when you would fucking, you know what I mean? When you'd shake them like a fucking Polaroid picture. But these ones were huge. I'd never seen them like that before. And there was just this entire fucking section of this factory was just full of all these fucking computers, parts and computers themselves and fucking disk drives and boxes and cases full of discs and paper, all this printed fucking documents, thousands and thousands of boxes, literally thousands of boxes, those fucking legal boxes or whatever they're called. There was so much fucking shit. In this whole fucking building there was so much shit. But that floor always was like cool to me because it was like, I don't know, it was all this cool computer shit. And then there was another floor that had this water damage. I remember I told you guys about that, where it was like the fucking water must have been in there at some point, because it was only the one floor like that, but the fucking wood floor was like big waves, and we would take our skateboards in there and fucking skate over the top of that shit, up and down. It was fucking cool, man. It was like it was supposed to be like that, because it was warped with these big fucking humps and shit, but it was smooth. Like, it was like quite the smooth transition for being totally fucking ruined. That shit was awesome. And then there was a couple other big open floors, and there would be like a random, like fucking some big machine. Like, I don't even know what it is, probably 100 years old. And every floor had like different shit. And the building was so big, like you would find different, like I remember finding like this whole kind of cubicle type office area that was obviously abandoned and fucked up. But like we thought we had been in the whole place, you know, and then you'd find like this whole wing. You're like, oh shit. But what I was saying is like the first time I went in there, I was kind of scared, you know, because you were getting lost and like, and you'd hear it was constantly making noise. The building was, you know, there was broken windows, there was birds, there was fucking homeless people, there was all kinds of shit. The homeless people wasn't really a thing. Like we never came across any homeless people until like you could see where they were living, but we never came across any until we had like this fucking thing happen on the roof. I'll get to that. I probably told you about that too. But I remember this place. There was, in my mind, there was just so much to do there. But there was like absolutely nothing to do there. Like I just liked walking around, just walking from side to side, looking out the windows, fucking just looking through everything, going through the desks, all these fucking desks and all this abandoned shit, man. And every floor was different. And I remember being in there at one point, and we were in there for an extended period of time. And I don't think we were stealing copper. It was like an Explorer Day kind of thing. And I remember thinking like, this is like my favorite fucking place to be. And then ever since I had that feeling, or every time after that, I like couldn't wait to fucking go there. I was like, I would try to talk anybody who would, yo, you want to go to, we called it the place. You want to go to place? You want to go to place? And until we started stealing copper, people would be like, oh yeah, I guess, like if there was really nothing else going on, and we would go there, and it was like a win for me. I was like, yeah. But really, like, I was the only one that really, really, really wanted to go there all the fucking time. And it didn't matter. Like, I could just sit there and just like kind of like live there, you know, like fucking just do nothing. And it was fucking fine with me, man. And I had this overwhelming sense of like being comfortable in that place. It was fucking weird. And there was we found our way. It was the ground level, but the fucking railroad tracks, it had its own pull-in for fucking trains to pull in. And when we found that was like some old Resident Evil shit. You walked in and it was like, it was all shut down, but there was like a big platform with fucking railroad tracks down. It was fucking dope, man. I was like, holy fuck. That was fucking awesome. And then again, like we would find this shit, and fucking the people I was with were just like, yeah, whatever. And then when we spent more time in there stealing copper and shit, it was, it didn't have the same, it wasn't like the Explorer days. It was more like we had to find the boxes. We found the boxes, and then we had to get up there, and then we had to fucking, before we got Larry involved, we had to unscrew the fucking things off of this, they were like brackets that came down with these steel rods off the ceiling, and they would, some of them were short, some of them were a little longer. I guess it depended on where the electricity kind of needed to run. So it was either like tucked in tight to the ceiling or drop down. So of course we would have to take the low-hanging fruit first, and we'd have to unscrew the brackets where they connected, either unscrew them or unbolt them or fucking, you know, whatever. They were all different. It was like, obviously over the years different things had been done with these. And then so you drop it in a place, aside from making its growing pain noises, was quiet, dead fucking quiet, aside from the building creaking and, you know, bullshit. But there was no like ambient fucking noise. So you drop these things off the fucking bam, and it would slam in the middle, and then you just kind of wait and see like if anyone heard you. Because I'm sure it was like illegal to be in there, but I'm assuming the police would have just said, get the fuck out of here, you know. And so then if you drop the fucking things off, then you'd have to unscrew all these fucking things, bolts and all this shit all the way down one side to the other where you dropped it down. And then when you open that up, then they had all these porcelain fucking shit, and that shit will fuck you up. So you had to like close your eyes and fucking smash those things with a fucking hammer. And then you got to get the fucking, then there were like these, I'm trying to think of what I could compare it to, but they were just like, they weren't rods. They were almost kind of like, what the fuck could I compare it to? They were just like these flat pieces of copper that were probably, I don't know, a quarter inch, maybe even a half an inch thick. And they were like long rectangle bars. And some of them would have, there was I think they were 8 feet and 12 feet. In the 12-foot ones, you would have to bend in half because we would we'd steal someone's fucking garbage can on the way, like the city garbage cans. Like we'd just steal whatever one was outside, we would just grab one on the way. We'd steal that shit and drag it up to where we were working. Well, we would drag it inside and then go find where we were working and then drag that up. And then we'd fill the fucking garbage can full of fucking copper, or at least as much as we could get. And then fucking boom, 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 down each stair, boom, 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 and then fucking out the door. And so, shit, I remember the one time, man, we had so much. It was all in my fucking kitchen in my house. There was buckets and all this shit. There was fucking copper all over the place. There was just buckets full of buckets and fucking... My mother was like, what the fuck? And then she would drive us to the fucking scrapyard, and they were bending us over too because we didn't know, and they knew it was fucking stolen. So, but you know, if we'd make $100 or something, or fucking sometimes maybe even a little more. But then when we got Larry involved, he bought the fucking Sawzall and fucking... And we did some massive work because then he wasn't fucking around. We were cutting them shits off the fucking ceiling and fucking, but we were doing this shit at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. It was fucking dead silent in there. No ambient noise at all, and pitch fucking black, no electricity. We got fucking the moonlight a little bit and fucking flashlights. Dropping these boxes off, and it's so fucking loud. Saws fucking drops it, smashes on the ground. Then he would fucking cut the whole box all the way down the length of it instead of unscrewing all the shit. And then fucking, that was when we I think we were getting it off of one of the upper floors, and he pulled him and Twan, fucking Dubs, go listen to the Dubs episode. They pulled up on the street by the fucking the train trestle, and me and Jay fucking threw all the copper off the roof down onto the train tracks, fucking 6 floors down, and probably 7 at that point being on the roof, and fucking all like hundreds of pounds of copper were fucking throwing off. It was fucking crazy. And then so the next day, I can't even remember what we got. It was hundreds of dollars, right? And we were like, yeah, bitch. And then Larry's like, gotta pay for the Sawzall first. I remember being like, what the fuck, man? This is bullshit. Like, we ended up getting like fucking $25 each after we paid for this fucking... He probably still got it. So that was fucked up, but it was fun. And then at one point, I think a portion of it burned, and then it made it really difficult to get in there, and then the whole fucking thing burnt. It was a big fucking fire. It was fucked up. It was probably an insurance thing, like, because I don't know if it was owned or if a bank owned it or if somebody owned it and they were paying taxes on it, but they couldn't do anything with it. It was probably some old bullshit. But at one time, and I don't know if you heard this story or not, but you probably did. But if not, me and Jay were up in there and we were on like, was it the roof or was it next to the roof? It was one of the top floors. And we started hearing like people talking, and that was rare. Like, it was very, very rare that you would hear people talking like close to you. And so we're like, oh shit. So I think they heard us fucking leave, and we were hiding outside. We climbed out of this broken window that had like a board out of it, so you could fucking get out of the window and onto this roof area. In this roof area, there was fucking nowhere to go. And there was an elevator shaft with fucking like a chicken wire frame and cage on the top of it. And it fucking shit went straight to the basement. It was like the exterior of not the exterior, but it was like it must have been like an elevator access or some shit. Because there was cables and all kinds of shit that you could see. But anyway, it went fucking straight down, man. And from there was like a cutout in the building that was fucking taller than us, probably 12 feet tall, but it didn't go anywhere. It was like a fucking, like a short hallway, open air. We were on the roof, but you couldn't get anywhere. Anyway. So fucking, we bounced out there and we're hiding, and the voices were getting louder and louder, and people were like, they were pushing shit over, and it was real loud. And I was like peeking over to fucking see. I'm peeking. And I think it's about dusk, because it's not sunny and bright out. It's like getting later. It's probably, it's probably 6 o'clock, in the summertime. Looking. And this fucking German Shepherd comes out and like goes right by my face. I said, oh shit. It scared the shit out of both of us. I think I scared the dog too. And I ran into two big circles on the roof, in this little area on the roof. And Jay and I both fucking jumped up onto this fucking wooden with fucking this wire that's just been exposed to the elements, chicken wire, jumped on this fucking thing, and then jumped on it. And when we got to the spot where we jumped up, like the only place that it looked like to go, there was nowhere to go. It was just a dead fucking end. We're boxed in, totally fucked. And this dude, fucking two dudes came around the corner, but the big dude came first, and he fucking pulls up his fucking coat, and I was like, oh no. Or not his coat, his shirt. And I was like, oh shit. Damn, how the fuck we about to get shot on the fucking roof of this place? And he pulls out this big ass screwdriver. Like a big, I don't even know what the fuck it's for. Some sort of heavy equipment screwdriver. And then I was like, oh, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Da, 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 da. It was like a young black dude and an old black dude. And then the older guy fucking kind of like came behind him. We're like, nothing, we're just fucking around. We're just lost. And he's like, come on, you guys need to get the fuck out of here. This is our building. We own this building. And I more, as I grew up later, I was like, they didn't own the fucking building. Nobody owned this building. The city owned this fucking building. But then they walked us all the way down the stairwells with this dog all the way down. And then fucking out. It scared the shit out of both of us, though. We were like, fuck. Then I think about all this shit, like we jumped on that thing, and that fucking thing could have fell, and fucking, you'd have been a wrap. You'd have been dead no matter what, man. That fucking shit was fucked up. But reflecting back on this fucking building, it was just a place that I really, really liked to be. And when it eventually burned down, it was like sad, even though I hadn't been there in fucking probably 20 years since it burned, until it burned down. But it was some weird fucking symbology, like my fucking childhood was burning down, you know? I don't know. I remember being sad. I was like, damn, fucking factory burnt down. And it was like the fucking fucked up ass half crumbled in shell of it there for a long ass time until they finally got it all down and cleared, and now there's a big nothing. But it was a fun fucking place to be. I remember we hammed out with some old cans of Krylon. We had we broke into this other place that was a fucking that was an actual place. Well, we didn't break in. We went in there while they were open. This other place on Dewey Avenue, like kind of across the way a little bit. And there was a place where we would hang out on these trailers and shit, and these semi trailers they had in the back there. They might even still fucking be there. And we would jump down into this place and sneak around and fucking, we stole all this paint one day and fucking, we would steal like dumbass shit, all this shit we didn't even know what it was. I remember we stole all this fuel and it was fucking diesel fuel. We were trying to sell it and people were like, this ain't gas, this is fucking diesel fuel. And I was like, oh shit, we thought we had 10 gallons of fucking fuel or of gas. Nah. So we were we spray painted all this dumb shit like all up the stairwells and shit because that was like I don't even know why, because it was the biggest open areas that weren't like, I don't know, but as we're walking down with those dudes and shit, I remember looking at all of it like kind of laughing to ourselves like we did all this big weed leaf. Well, we hammed out with this fucking, it was orange, yellow, and fucking green. And there was a dumpster at Jeff with all of our fucking tags on it from like fucking, it was probably like 1998. All of our gang tags and shit. And it was there for a long ass fucking time. Shit, I think I brought Erica to see that shit and it was still there, in 09 or whatever the fuck. Yeah, that shit was there for a while. I think it had to be 09 or 2010. The dumpster was still all fucked up. I should take a little gander over there one day and see if that dumpster's still loking. But yeah, I think I still got one of those empty cans over at my mother's house somewhere because we did all this fucking fuck shit with it. It was funny. But that's my memory of the week. So happy birthday to Gasp. It was a Gasp birthday. Rip Gasp. I miss that motherfucker. Shout out fucking Punch Marker. Shout out Machine Studio. Shout out everybody. Pep, Zeph. Shout out fucking A-Dog. He's a good kid, man. Zeph, you got a good kid there, man. All your kids, your whole family. You got a beautiful family, brother. Shout out Dick. Shout out all you guys, man. Shout out Big Nate. Fucking. Shout out Big Jake. Shout out everybody, man. You guys are the fucking GOAT. I love you all. Everyone be good in the streets. I gotta go make some chicken wings.